We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.
The statement made by the Ghana coach Otto Addo. At a point, Africa had 3 representatives to the FIFA World Cup, and we clamored for more, thinking the more we have, the better our chances. Africa got 5, and ever since then, it's been more or less downhill. Now, with the advent of more slots at the FIFA World Cup come the next edition in the USA, Canada and Mexico, that's talking about 48 teams. More African nations are likely going to be included. Some are talking maybe 9 African nations. Now, will that further enhance our chances of winning the FIFA World Cup? I'm not so sure. We just read here that South America have 4 representatives, and how many times have South America won the FIFA World Cup? So it kind of brings to absolute nonsense what Otto Addo said.
It's a tricky thing. Now, I agree with you, and I agree when you say we've got 5 slots and we're not doing anything with it. But he went as far as adding something on the back. We've got 54 nations. Now, in comparison to South America, they've got just 10 nations. So they're practically giving them 4.5. Right, and from that 4.5, because the other half means you have to go through a qualifier. I think the playoffs, intercontinental playoffs. That's the trick. But Brazil and Argentina put them out, and they stand out well. Uruguay has won the tournament before. Uruguay has made it to the latter stages of the tournament. We've seen good balls by the likes of Colombia. Right, so for Africa, it's a lot of question. We go every time to the World Cup, and we do not perform at that level. We have flashes. One. You mentioned 2010 Ghana. I think that's the last time when an African team did so well. Since 2010, that's about 12 years ago. Like looking back, 2002, 1998, it's still quarterfinal. So even when we say 5, none of those 5 have built a football philosophy. We're comparing ourselves to Europe. Europe have a good philosophy. They've got good teams. They've got good styles. Beyond, even if we reduce it to 5, we can still mention the likes of France, Spain, maybe Germany. They've got football plan, and we can see it. Africa, we cannot see it.
I'm not even sure that we should be comparing ourselves to the Europeans. I think what we should be doing is comparing ourselves with the Asians. With the South Americans.
Yes.
And maybe even with the Middle East nations as well.
Well, they're following that Asian.
Because they're rising. They're definitely rising. If you were to ask yourself, which African nations are most likely to win the FIFA World Cup, you would still mention all of the teams that have qualified for the FIFA World Cup.
Yes.
There's no way you're going to go to the likes of Zambia.
No.
You can't go to the likes of Togo. Whatever it is. Or Zaire. You can't. So increasing the number, which they might deserve. Africa deserves, because if you're going to do a 48 nation tournament, of course you're going to give Africa more slots.
Yes.
But more numbers does not automatically translate to better chances. It does not. You've got to develop what you have from the homestead to have any kind of logical chance of winning the World Cup. So much was said about how all of the nations that have won the World Cup have always had an indigenous coach. Now Africa has gone to this World Cup for the first time, and every nation has an indigenous coach. And everybody was thinking, maybe this is the time. Maybe this is when Africa will make that huge dent. So far it hasn't worked. It really hasn't worked. But you never know. Let's keep moving on. I think of all the best, and I said so a couple of weeks ago when the FIFA World Cup started, to some who care to listen, that look, of all the teams, I'm most impressed. I will be most impressed, especially after I saw the first game with Morocco. I'm hoping they continue in that stead. If there's any nation right now that can make it all the way through, maybe be the first to play in the semi-finals, I think it's looking more like Morocco. I think it is.
We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.